I'm Yolunda Hickman. I'm the postgraduate programs leader for Fine Arts, which includes the MFA program and the BFA Honours program. I actually studied my undergraduate. I did my BFA at Whitecliffe and then was offered a few classes after graduating and then never really left. So that role kept changing and growing over the years, but I really value Whitecliffe's community. It's a very caring space. People are passionate about what they do. My colleagues are really supportive and friendly and interesting people, and the students always bring new ideas, which means that every day is different. So I teach in the postgraduate program, which is a very individualized, tailored learning experience for students, where you're responding to each student's individual interests and research. My particular interests are in drawing, image theory, painting, semiotics, the way that images communicate and are disseminated throughout our contemporary culture. So a lot of the students I work with work in those fields, but we have a very wide range of skill sets and just work with students' individual needs. The Fine Arts program is a low residency model, which means that students come to Auckland on campus 4 times a year for an intensive week-long seminar, and then in between times they return to their studios, they return home, which means they can be based anywhere around the country, and they work in their studios. They can juggle work commitments, family commitments, other parts of life, and then return to campus and bring their work for those intensive seminars. In between seminars, they're supervised by 2 supervisors who address their studio making interests and also their contextual written reading and writing research interests, and they're in communication throughout that time. The BFA Honours program is a continuation of the BFA program, so it's a way for students to transfer into postgraduate study and think about the next level of academic rigour around their work. So they're continuing on from their undergraduate study, but deepening that inquiry, thinking more critically, more engaged, and thinking across an academic premise, which can then pathway on to MFA study. One thing Whitecliffe really values is that bridge between academic fine arts study and professional industry community engagement. So one thing we encourage students to do is be a part of the broader fine arts community here in New Zealand. That happens by visiting curators, artists, writers, being engaged in the program throughout a course of study at a postgraduate level. So students are transitioning into a field where they are exhibiting artists and practicing professionally in the world. Whitecliffe is a very supportive, caring environment. Faculty are engaged with students' ideas. You get a very individualised, tailored program of learning which supports your individual interests, but also questions and challenges and opens you up to new experiences that you might not have had before. One thing we value in fine arts is the position that creativity can have in relation to the rest of the world, in relation to history or politics or philosophy or those big ideas that drive society and drive culture. So you gain a lot of skills which are transferable to other industries and other creative fields. I started Whitecliffe as an undergraduate, 18 years old, straight out of high school. I chose Whitecliffe because the receptionist remembered my name, and I think that might feel like a small thing, but it captures the Whitecliffe community feel, where we're a small place, everyone knows you, everyone cares about your progression and your success, and that experience continued on through my 4 years of BFA study. Once I graduated, people who had previously been my lecturers offered me a couple of teaching positions and saw potential in my growth and supported me after graduation, which I think is another unique part of Whitecliffe. And one of the things I really value now as an educator is seeing my students out in the world achieving their potential and being engaged in creative conversations and careers, whatever that might look like for them. I really value seeing students grapple with and try to understand new ideas and challenge themselves. I think that's a large part of fine arts education, and thinking critically, questioning our assumptions about the world, questioning the way creativity works, the way communication works, the way we navigate culture and society. And fine arts can offer that. Seeing a student develop their own take on what we prompt them, but coming to a position that's their own. It's independent, it's individual, it's creative, it's responding to the education and the learning we offer them, but it's not repeating what we say. So we really value an independence of creative thinking and criticality. Question us and we'll question you. I think one of the challenges about pursuing fine arts education is there's no direct career path once graduating. It's not like being a nurse and then you get a job doing nursing. And so for students, it's really important to see the opportunities that are out there for them and know that they have the power to make their own careers. So one of the challenges for me graduating was not knowing what the next steps were. And I think it's important that we help students identify some of those steps before they leave. My own practice is engaged in the limits of communication, visual communication especially. I'm interested in how images are made, how they might convey meaning or how they might not convey meaning. In a contemporary society, we're so saturated by images. We see images every day, all the time, walking down the street, scrolling our phones, and we're not taught to read images in the same way we're taught to read language. And I think there are potentials there for miscommunications or assumptions to be made that are really important to our current political, social environment. And I address those ideas broadly through a painting practice, but not necessarily paint on a canvas, thinking about paint in space, the histories and languages of painting, and how that is used to construct meaning. Create meaningful change means that you believe in the power of creativity to have an impact on the world, whatever that looks like. You might not be an artist, you might not be a designer, you might not be working in technology or other fields, but that you can think critically, you can question what's happening in the world and engage at a level where you're offering new solutions, new options, and it might be in a fine arts context as an exhibiting artist or a curator, but it also might just be in the way that you engage in your everyday life and the people around you. I think that criticality and that questioning is really important. You know, I studied with students during my undergraduate, one in particular who went on to go to law school, which sounds like a big change, but from her experience in critiques, from her experience of analysing and in questioning and critically engaging with information, she found herself well ahead of all of her peers. So I think that perception of art as a hobby or art as maybe a not intelligent subject is so misplaced, and those are the real potentials of what we can offer.